What's up, AfterBuzzers? Welcome back to the Righteous Gemstones Aftershow. We're going to be talking all about Episode 7 tonight, and praise the Lord! It is Easter Sunday, so you know what that means. Lots of light shows, the cash is flowing, and there's going to be a whole lot of P-whips, so stay tuned.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I'm really hung up on the P-whips too, baby.
Hung up on those P-whips. I'm hung up on this whole episode.
What an episode! I don't know how we got better than last week, but I think we did.
You know what? The expectations were high. It's Easter Sunday. This light show going on in the studio right now is just like at church, obviously. It was always like that at my church, too, growing up in a Catholic community. Obviously the same thing.
Yeah, very similar.
What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning back in. My name's Amy Maestri. Excited to jump into this week's episode with you guys. And you know what? I got this lovely lady sitting next to me, too. Sister Steph.
It's Steph Sabraw here to confirm that Hollywood doesn't like Christians. I'm just kidding. Kind of.
Kind of. We'll see.
We question it.
These Christians, yeah. These we use the term Christians lightly.
Loosely.
Oh man. So yeah, tonight we're gonna do our usual. We're gonna break down the episode, chat it up about what our favorite terrible people are doing this week. We'll get into our special segment, of course, the righteous rhyme that may not always rhyme, hit up some news and gossip, and then, you know what, the predictions I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited to get into some predictions later.
Me too.
We got some wild stuff going on. In this episode, I think some of our old predictions started kind of coming to fruition in some ways.
Yeah.
Seeing some more seeds planted. And only 2 episodes left after this.
Yeah, I can I hop into my overall thoughts?
No,
thank you so much. I'm gonna continue. I agree with you completely. We got answers that I needed and I really wanted, and I didn't know when it was gonna happen. But for example, Gideon and the whole rivalry with his dad, where did that start? So I'm glad we got to know what happened the night of the video. And it was cool to see Judy have that conversation with her dad. And then I just love where they're going with the season. Like, they're really ramping up things in ways that I didn't think that they would be doing. And I'm so into it. And I'm now sure everyone would love the show. I've been sure as a comedy fan, and just the style of this type of show is totally my thing. But I think anyone would like this show, really.
Yeah, I think it
unless
is
you're
one...
really unless you like televangelists, then don't.
Unless you just donated $1,000 to your favorite mega church
so that they can pocket it and have a yacht party, then you won't like this show.
Sister Steph, it's for Jesus. How dare you? I'm sure they're all listening to
what
this
do you
too.
think?
No, I agree with
us.
you. I feel like a lot of people in the beginning were kind of taken aback by how dark it got, so quickly, and I think a lot of people were expecting something different, but my gosh, has it just surprised at every turn and just gotten better and better. So in this week's cold open, I thought it was interesting that they jumped right into that flashback for the prayer convention, like you mentioned, to see where this all started, which was funny because it took me a second and I was like, wait, and then I was like, oh wait, the prayer convention, that's right, this is where it all kind of started. So after getting to see that cold open, how excited were you to get back to present day though?
Oh my gosh, really excited. I was actually also kind of worried in the beginning that it was happening again. I was like, no, we made such father-son progress. Don't you dare ditch out on him on a dinner date. And then it was just a flashback. But yes, so happy to get back into it because the story has so much momentum right now that I didn't want another flashback episode. So they gave us exactly what we needed, and then we moved forward to the present day.
Totally. 100% agree. And I love one of the standout lines in this, or moments really too, just one of the comedic relief moments, once again seeing what a narcissist Jesse is, that during this altercation with his son who's trying to get him to have dinner, his biggest qualm is that he said he's trying to be a big shot. He said, no, I am a big shot. And I just love those moments that really just stand out, where you're like, wow, he really is just such a dirtbag.
It really blows my mind because on one end, usually when people talk like that, they're really insecure. But I think he really just feels himself to the fullest.
100% feeling himself.
He's like, I'm the one. I am the one. Don't mess with me.
Well, he's definitely the chosen one.
I need that confidence. I mean, I kind of have some of that, but I want that televangelist confidence.
Oh man, I don't know if I could fit in the studio with your head at that point.
Oh my God, that televangelist confidence, baby, would just swoop me right up and make me the president. I mean, that's basically what Trump has.
That's what happened.
God, Trump is a televangelist. Wow.
Things are happening tonight, guys.
Wow, this show is deep.
Oh boy, I don't even know how we can segue from that one. So let's just go.
Try to pivot.
We're gonna do a quick pivot to jumping back to present day. Scotty has made it into the compound. He is at dinner looking like a straight up serial killer with the fam. And he starts laying it on real thick of what a good boy he is and what a good Christian boy Gideon is for bringing Jesus to Los Angeles, the city of sinners.
I just want to know, was the nose tape originally a part of the costume, or was that a joke that they were just like, go with it?
Yeah.
I want to be in that room when that decision was made. But him being there and then being able to stay at the house is just so crazy. And I was kind of worried about what would happen because Scotty's a legit psycho.
Yeah.
He's not just trying to get the money. He has no limits. I mean, he pushed his girl down a massive, I don't even know what it was, like dirt ditch.
That's a dirt ditch.
Down a dirt ditch. So the fact that he has access to the house and with the two little boys there too is really creepy, but I love when the stakes are high.
Exactly. And this show really every single episode finds a new way to raise those stakes. Mm-hmm. So then we get to really the whole meat of this episode is the build up to the Easter sermon and the Easter service. But of course, you have all the prep going into it too. So we always talk about how much we love these little family meetings. And this one was out by the Amy Lee statue and just trying to figure out what everyone's role was going to be. So once again, all three of the kids vying for attention from Daddy, even saying it when I say it like that, it just creeps me out so much. And poor Judy, but also, God, Judy, what's wrong with you? She goes from one controlling asshole to another, and then starts to get reeled back in here. So this is kind of what I was talking about before, that maybe some of our predictions from last week saying that Eli might go, okay, maybe I should try to get her back on my side. And so he starts to do that of saying, you get this moment that is going to be really special to you because it's something your mom used to do.
They're a bunch of manipulative dicks, the whole lot of them, including Daddy Gemstone. But that scene was gold. I love that scene. It was each of the siblings at their absolute prime, showing their worst insecurities and their biggest hopes in one scene. And it was so fun to watch, especially Kelvin.
God.
But Judy, just to see her lit up because for once in her life she had been recognized as an equal. I mean, she's almost 40. The conversation that she had prior standing up to her dad about, or it came after, but about how she is 40 and she needs to be talked to like she's 40. I mean, probably like, what do you think, 15?
Yeah,
at least 15, but they treat her like a 9-year-old. At least give her driver's permit. That's all I'm asking for. But love that scene. Love Kelvin's position as the youth minister. It never gets old to me, and then his performance was just incredible.
Oh, always. And yeah, the fact that they each were wanting new things, and of course now, well, also back to Judy always being on the outside. When Eli said all four of us will have something featured, even the two boys were just like, 4 of us. Like, it literally didn't even register like, oh yeah, there's a 4th member of our family who's standing right next to us.
So funny.
But then to see that, yeah, like at the end, Calvin's still doing something, but in his eyes, it's not special enough because Judy got something for the first time ever, which is huge, and Jesse is doing the main sermon.
Yeah, I have to ask, what do you think the Jesse doing the main sermon is? I don't think it's just because he deserves it.
Yeah, I feel like this scene is setting up Eli to say, like, he's testing them, I think. Eli's starting to test them to kind of say, I might not be doing this sometime soon. I might be handing over reins soon. I don't know. What were your thoughts on that?
I don't know what it is, but I think it's something. It's a power play of some sort. Not sure what the motive is exactly, but like I said, it's not because Jesse is doing exceptionally well in his personal or church life.
Jesse, you're just crushing it all around.
Yeah. I'd like to see it.
No, yeah, I wonder. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes, because I feel like Eli's not going to want to hand over the reins, but I also feel like he wants to test all of them now too, and loyalties too. To just kind of see how they perform, and also to test someone like Judy's loyalties right now between him and Baby Billy.
He is the televangelist godfather.
Straight up, throwing potatoes through windows. That's a Godfather move.
Fish in bed.
Fish, it's everywhere. So then we get into Scotty and Gideon planning everything for this heist that they're going to pull off on Easter, because I know in past episodes they talked about, in a normal weekend how much they make, and then something like Easter Sunday, it's millions and millions. So they're of course talking about this. This is where a P-whip comes in. Lots of P-whips. Scotty wants a lot of P-whips.
I want that to be my username on whatever site I need a username for.
just go find one.
P-whips live in the chat, baby.
Lil P-whip. But so we get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes for what they're planning, and it still continues. You see Gideon slowly backing away, but still offering to plan. So it's kind of like, we know he's wanting to back away, but he's still kind of in it, and that's been going on for a while now. But Scotty is still obviously staying very hardcore. But really, because we'll get more into that later, to jump into the Uncle Baby Billy and Judy scene. Oh boy. So he's Baby Billy's got his own thing.
He's such a douchebag.
Such a douche. And
way too much sun.
I don't think it's sun. I think it's whatever Trump's doing for his mighty orangeness.
Oh yeah, something's happening. Something's happening. He's drinking the wrong Kool-Aid. He is psychotic.
Completely. The way that he is so still obsessed with his sister as being a singing duo, and now not having her anymore, so getting his niece to take the place of his sister that he was obsessed with is it's new levels.
It's really creepy.
New levels.
And the way he talks to her, he's like, "What I say, bitch."
But then I like that Judy gave it back. Don't bitch talk me, bitch. You can't give Judy any kind of like positive reinforcement, because she just goes off the deep end.
Oh my god. But yeah, he's nasty.
And made even worse by the fact that, I don't know if you caught this, she shortened Uncle Baby Billy to Uncle Baby one time.
No, I missed that.
I
think I totally blocked that out of my head.
You're welcome for bringing that back into your life.
There's some weird family dynamics, that's for sure.
I was watching this one with my roommate, and she'd only watched like an episode, and she was like, "Oh, did her and that Baby Billy guy hook up?" And I was like, "Oh God, you don't know the dynamic, but
no,
maybe."
But BJ. And I never really recognized that his initials are blowjob.
Can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break. Poor BJ, he's really just getting dragged from the beginning, and we see he's had enough, and I don't blame him. I'm totally here with it.
I mean, honestly, he needs to just get out of there forever, or she needs to just drop both of her creepy uncle and her creepy dad. And they need to get out of there.
They're already having sex. She admitted to it this episode.
That's true.
Poor BJ.
She's an adult lady. Yeah, we'll get into that later too.
Poor
BJ. So yeah, he finally stands up for himself and walks out of there. And much to Judy could have stopped him, but Judy, that's how starved she is for attention.
I know.
Uncle Baby Billy being a complete asshole to her, saying she can't do this thing that she was so excited to do, she was whimpering about to get to do, and has to send her fiance away all because she thinks someone's finally accepting her and her family.
In a Sears mall, no less.
Sears mall.
Don't forget the location.
The most important. So then we really jump into Easter Sunday. So we get to see the prep, that prayer circle. I love that shot of going all around and seeing everyone as they're in the prayer circle before they go in. And the thing that stuck with me, 6 million people watching worldwide. 6 million people watching.
I just can't put myself in that headspace to be like, I need to go to church and this is the one. I need it, these people are so important that I need to live stream them. Yeah. Do you think churchgoers who watch the live stream, the 6 million, and I'm saying realistically because this happens, all these televangelists live stream, do you think they're physically going to a church nearby and then watching that after, or do you think that is their church?
That's such a good question, because in this, I love that they showed all the different places that people were watching it. I feel like that has to be their church. And especially because they're the ones who are donating. They're the ones, pulling up that live stream to watch and then hitting the donate button at the end. So I don't know. Yeah,
so that must be a real thing. I'm gonna look into that. I'll report on it next week, because that they must be really pulling from real life scenarios where that happens. I'm sure Osteen and all the people that I've dragged or lightly dragged in my special segment do that.
Oh yeah,
it's smart business. But it's weird. It's just, there's such an irony in thinking that being physically because that's a lot of the argument I've been told, because I had never wanted to go to church as a kid, but a big part of the argument was like, you need to be in the space of God.
Yeah.
But that totally detracts from it, because you're more glued into a person than the church.
Which also feeds into the hypocrisy of it all of, local pastors saying, come, it's a community. We all pray together. It's in this space. It's a sacred space. Or someone saying, just check us out online. Don't worry. It's the same thing. The donate button will be right at the bottom. It's nice and big.
It's even easier than you thought before. You don't even have to bring cash to put in the little basket.
Take PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, anything. It's fine. You can send cash in an envelope if you want.
Side note, I have a Venmo if anyone wants to, send stuff.
The Church of Steph and Amy. But that is it. And I wonder, too, if after you watch something, if they, remarket you, when you look at shoes and then you're on Facebook, 3 days later and those shoes pop up again. Oh does Joel Osteen just pop up on your screen and scare the crap out of you 3 days later?
He's like, send that money my way. Don't you dare put clothes on your back.
Did you donate yet? You can't pay rent? Oh, well.
It's me. Bless you.
I think we should just make our own.
Yeah. What are we doing?
What are we doing here? Okay, guys, we gotta go. We gotta go start our own church.
Side note, let's make AfterBuzz a church. But I do want to tell you guys in the live chat right now, rocking with us, thank you so much for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button. Leave us a comment after so we can keep the conversation going. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us a 5-star review. Also, leave us a written review so we can keep the conversation going there. We just want to say thank you for letting us talk about this crazy show along with every other show on TV that you can imagine here at AfterBuzz TV. You guys are the best. Bless you.
Yeah, bless you all. Bless you all. Thank you, Sister Steph.
No problem.
That was beautiful.
It just came to me in that moment.
See, in a sacred space. That's why you come to church instead of doing it online.
I had to thank the viewers.
Well, the ones who were in church for this Easter Sunday got it was like a EDC show up in there. They had light shows, they had music, the production value of this church.
Kelvin deserves a standing ovation. I'm not going to lie, Kelvin killed it.
He did.
He is the golden child.
And of course, he's put on this whole like production and he still just gets that one. And it's funny because it's like this huge deal. He's still like this big opening act.
I know, church. I thought his was going to be so small, like in the side of the church, because you know how sometimes they do something separate for kids.
Yeah.
But his was front and center. It was a full-on concert. It was so big. It was
still
big,
pissed.
Yeah.
Still pissed that he didn't have
middle
something
child
new.
syndrome.
Yep.
Or wait, is he? No, he's youngest child syndrome.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, and he's actually quite a bit younger.
Yeah,
as we saw in the flashback.
because he was an accident, basically.
Yes. Poor accident, Kelvin.
Don't you hate those?
But so this is when BJ really takes off too. So we had a lot of things happening throughout this sermon and throughout the actual service happening. The specifics of the show we always talk about. I love the way that he ran away from Judy. And that he hopped into his little smart car and then just drove away. Everything was perfect about it.
So perfect. And that he was crying and it was about him just looking more manly. Way to redefine masculinity, BJ, but you're falling into the trap of toxicity. We gotta rein you back. You don't need that in your life. Judy needed that though. She needed that. I'm done with you because he's been actually abused verbally and physically for the past since the beginning of the season. So I like that he did that. I'm curious. I would love if he handed it to the entire family and left, if he had a whole on mic drop and kind of gave them reality and then they were like, nah, we're not listening to you. But from the viewer perspective, you're like, no, BJ's right.
He's right. Well, also we find out that he's like, I'm not even religious. How you can be a part of that family or any family like that and not even be religious, like,
because I think that's a great writing point, because at the end of the day, are they religious?
Exactly.
Are they actually religious?
He would have a much harder
they're as
time.
religious as we are.
Yeah.
We're in our bags. We're trying to get the money.
Also, once again, the Church of Steph and Amy on Venmo for anyone
interested. Thank you.
That was Jesus hit that in the studio.
Yeah, Jesus, aka Jonathan Moulton.
Jonathan always keeping it fresh for us with our on-screen graphics. We got the music going, the Holy Spirit. Thanks to Jonathan.
Yes.
So then we have Gideon, who we think he's actually going to fess up. And of course, Jesse can't just open his ears and listen. He just assumes that he's coming out and assumes he's gay, which also very funny that the take on homosexuality for this family is like, no, that's cool.
I am obsessed with this scene. What a plot twist. Absolutely obsessed, because in a lot of ways, if you actually are religious and you follow, if you don't listen to the way things were written, which it wasn't written by God, newsflash, or Jesus himself, newsflash. So if you're following something verbatim that's not written by the people that you're trying to follow, figure out your life. But if you actually follow what a lot of God and Jesus were teaching, it's that you accept everyone. So there's no reason why the LGBTQ plus community isn't accepted in churches, but I would never have thought a gemstone would be okay with it. So the fact that that's what he thought, I mean, he can be hit in the face with facts and he won't see it. He sees what he wants to see, but I love that's what he saw, and that he was like, I love you, son, come here, I'm proud of you. Oh, Shantae.
Who would have thought that Jesse's like finest parenting moment would have been him accidentally thinking his son is gay and then being like a really dope dad about it.
Like a really cool dad.
Did not see that coming. But then also, if you think about it, the levels of his hypocrisy have maybe seen a limit here, because of course, if he did scold him at that point and say that's wrong, well, he's hanging out with hookers on the weekend.
Doing cocaine.
Doing coke all the time. So let's, wait. So that was a very shocking moment, but I think like a cool moment to show too.
Well, that is the hypocrisy not a lot of times, but there are a handful of times where deeply religious people or people who are tied in with the RNC who preach all of these very Christian values are caught with methamphetamine in their mouths and doing BDSM with a same-sex partner. So
exactly.
there is no rhyme or reason for these things.
Exactly, which is why... yeah.
Get into it. Crack cocaine in the mouth.
You know that crack cocaine. Which is why the hypocrisy of this, we've talked about it before, using this vehicle of religion is perfect because there is so much there that they're able to play with. And like Danny McBride has said, and they've all said it in interviews, that it's not about churches in general. It's about hypocrisy. And it just so happens to live so deeply within so many churches that ended up being the greatest way to be able to do it and to be able to show it.
It's the perfect way.
And so then we have the sermon. Jesse has his big moment. What a great scene with the parallels of him talking about Judas and betrayal. And the line, a doe can plan your destruction, but only a loved one can break your heart. As Gideon is going through the motions of seemingly going through with this plan.
With the Judas move. So freaking good. This is where they tie in that genre of dramedy perfectly, which my other favorite show, Barry, also on HBO does. And they have moments like this that bring in the dramatic feel, and it's honestly suspenseful and real and deeper than a lot of the other scenes, and it's done perfectly. And I didn't know where it was going with it. I didn't know if Gideon was going to take his dad's side or not, or what was going to happen. I thought it was freaking perfect.
It's really interesting to see the evolution of dark comedies in general on TV. Because I honestly can't remember the last straight up sitcom or comedy that was one of my favorites. I mean, Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, those were years ago. Those have been off the air for years. And then you have shows like Russian Doll coming out. And you have there's so many more elements to it, and it's just so textured. And this show, I think, is a great example, and also of networks giving the freedom.
I think that's for them such to be able to play with. I think that is you hit it right on the nose, that it's the evolution of comedy on television in streaming era. I don't think a 30 Rock could, even though it's top 3 favorite shows of all time for me, I don't think it could do what it did on streaming as it did on a weekly televised show, because your mind's just we're not trained for that anymore. Yeah. If you're a streaming show and people can binge this in a few months, you can't do a 30 Rock like we used to be able to. Exactly. So you kind of need that dramatic feel to make it more of a, I can't wait for next week.
Yeah. And to allow them to be able to play with the time limits on shows. You know, a sitcom no longer has to be 22 minutes. Mm-hmm. It can be 30. It can be an hour. Some episodes can be an hour. Some episodes can be 40. And I mean, these I feel like have found the sweet spot of that 40-minute mark. It's just enough time to pack everything in there, get a lot of comedy out, but really build these characters in this world and have those moments, like you said, the more serious ones that are really just beautifully done, like this back and forth sermon with the Judas stuff.
Yes. I'm conflict. Yes. Give it to me. What are you going to do, Gideon? But he became the good son that we thought he would. I mean, that's your family. And that's your money at the end of the day, Gideon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, he's maybe that's what it was.
I hate that you guys get the money, but if I'm Gideon, I'm getting the money.
Yeah.
With the fam. I'm keeping my family yacht.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, you're already floating around on a yacht. Just stay as is for a few more years, bro. Chill.
Write it out.
And Gideon's got some moves. He beat his ass.
Oh, yeah.
Beat his ass. No P-whips there. Didn't have time. And of course, Scotty is a little bitch in the end. Yeah. He wasn't going to pull that trigger. It's for those of you just listening, we just saw a brilliant gun reenactment by Steph Sabraw here.
Mm-hmm. Also the actress of the best actress of all time. Thank you.
Yes, obviously.
Just wanted to add that in.
It was I just thought it was implied,
Thanks. Obviously. Credibility is important. God.
And so, of course, Jesse, speaking of Gideon, his bi son that he loves, he still just can't get over it, even in the conversation with Amber. And Amber even on board.
Yes, Amber.
Like, yeah.
Give it to me. We love love is love is love, according to Lin-Manuel Miranda.
And apparently to Jesse and Amber Gemstone, too. Who would have thought?
So into it.
Who would have thought? And I love that no matter how few seconds we get with Keith, he makes an impact.
Oh my gosh, I want more Keith.
It looks like we're going to get some next week. But Scotty comes back, busts out the van, and I just love Keith's, Tony Cavallero's dry delivery of car pranks. It's beautiful.
I love him!
And, I would have loved more of him, but even when we only get those few seconds, they're perfect.
They're perfect.
They're perfect. So then it gets even more high stakes from earlier. Scotty comes back, kidnaps Jesse, and Gideon, finally stands up. And as hard as it would be in front of his dad, while his dad is now knowing, he was involved in all of this from the beginning. Drama.
Because he obviously knows that his son saw the tape. He knows that he did cause this. But also it's like, bro, your son really went behind your back and was gonna take down the entire family. Like, it's so complicated. It's the perfect season conflict. I just think it's magnificent. I'm so happy that we're not done with Scotty. Even though he's a psycho and I can't really stand him, he drives the show forward.
Exactly. And it really is kind of textbook too, where you have story arcs and you have beats that go throughout a screenplay. You have the same thing that happens within singular episodes of TV shows, but then also within seasons. You have that same story arc that's happening that would even happen within an actual episode. So episode 7 of 9, to hit this spot, this kind of like pinnacle of everything, and be this intense, knowing that there's still 2 episodes left to kind of tie things up, or like,
ay te quiero.
Yes.
I don't know what just happened to me. Please, we'll try to get that out.
Well, never. Now I want you to do it every single week. So of course, then at the end, he kidnaps them. He takes off with the money, and that's kind of where we end this episode of Scotty getting away with the cash.
Stakes are high, baby.
Whew, very high. And actually, that scene has some. We're gonna get into it later with some predictions, because I have some thoughts on what's going on in that last scene too. But for right now, we're gonna jump into our special segment, guys. This is a segment we like to do every week called the Righteous Rhyme that may not always rhyme. I actually don't believe it's ever rhymed, but that's the beauty of this segment, where we take down an actual mega church pastor and Steph just goes in. So you know what, Sister Steph, take it away.
Let us pray. An Israeli televangelist best known for his, quote, miracle crusades, which are held in stadiums around the country and broadcasted on his TV program, This Is Your Day. I'm talking about Benny Hinn, whose net worth is reported at $60 million.
Now, Benny, praise the Lord.
Followers believe Hinn can heal any of their ailments if he prays over them. What? Hinn, having previously claimed a modest lifestyle, has multiple controversies proving otherwise, including a report from March 1993 by Inside Edition reported on Hinn's $685,000 Orlando home and his Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes, now!
And it doesn't end there. In April 2017, IRS and U.S. Postal Service criminal investigators didn't know that was a thing until now, so thank you, raided Hinn's headquarters in Grapevine, Texas, only to find further proof that he was using the church's money for no good.
Now good, now.
His money issues aren't what's got me hot and heavy, though. I must switch up my prayer because no words could do what you're about to see justice.
Preach.
Try not to let your body hit the floor as you watch our boy Hinn in action.
Preach, sister.
Brother Jonathan, can we roll that clip?
Preach. Yes!
This is live footage.
Yeah! Get him, Benny!
Yes! Yes,
He's
Benny!
going in!
This is how you heal the world, Benny!
He is healing them one by one. For anyone listening on the live stream, he is literally just throwing people to the ground by their faces.
For anyone in the live stream, look up YouTube. What is it called, Amy?
I think it's just, if you look up Benny, I literally put in the term Benny Hinn throwing people to the ground.
You will find this actual footage of Benny Hinn performing his quote-unquote miracle healings, and he's actually just basically pistol whipping people with his coat.
Well, yeah, and that's obviously the
Let
power
the bodies
of
hit
Jesus.
the flow.
I feel like Keith and his Satanists would be really proud of us right now.
I am sweating.
Sweating Satan out.
That does this sermon justice.
It does.
In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
We pray. Preach, Sister Steph.
Thank you so much for giving me the time and the platform. I do not take this for granted.
Well, thank the good Lord that you do not. Let's jump into some real quick news and gossip.
Attacking kind of God. AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, really quick, just wanted to mention this interview that I found on Collider.com with Adam Devine. It looks like from the previews for next week, we're getting a little bit more of the Calvin Keefe stuff. Possibly we see a little bit of Calvin breaking down, and he's asked about that dynamic between them. And I just loved, again, I'll post this in the comments, but my storyline was our relationship. So he told me early on, the typo, what it was going to be, and I was excited. It's a weird thing. When people watch the show, they're going to be like, but what's up with Calvin and Keith? And the sexual chemistry between me and Tony Cavallero as humans is palpable. So just imagine what the characters will be like. And we always talk about how much we're shipping them. So I wanted to call out this. It's a great full interview just talking about the show itself. But I like that he gets kind of more into some of those smaller character roles within this world.
That's
so I
incredible.
will post that. But yeah, it's at Collider.com if you want to check it out.
Oh, shout out. That's amazing. I don't know if that's more amazing than how you look right now. You are ravishing.
Thank you. Whew. I know. I just put this together.
You are ravishing.
I just got it done. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's do some predictions.
All right. Amy, can you start?
I can.
Now, your AfterBuzz.
I'm going to cheat off what you say.
Do it. So I actually thought this was going to be how this episode not so much ended, but I thought we were going to see it in this episode. Amber very purposefully puts a gun away in their terrifying gun room. We have seen her go through tactical training before. We have been waiting for an Amber moment. I think her moment is coming, and she is going to have a giant gun in her hands.
Should we
when
call
it
an Amber alert?
Ayo!
All right, I'm done. All right, I'm done.
And she'll be here all week. Steph Sabraw, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's coming, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's coming. I think that Daddy Gemstone is going to have to find out the truth of why he's in this mess, why he got P-whipped. So that's going to definitely have to come to fruition. Or Gideon takes the rep for it. I'm not sure, but I think that Daddy Gemstone's going to find out. I love the scene we got teased with the two siblings being like, do not put my name in your mouth.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm really excited for next week.
The family dynamic stuff is going to be insane. And actually, I also think there might be a role reversal where Keith kind of has to save Calvin. I think Calvin's going to kind of, it seems like he's going off the deep end, literally, because he's in a pool at one point. Looks like he's drowning. But I think it might be a flip, and maybe our boy Keith is going to come through for his boy Calvin. Lots of stuff going on. There are only 2 episodes left. No. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in this week. We need you for the next 2 weeks. We need the moral support, knowing that this is almost coming to an end for this season, even though we do have season 2. But Steph, in the meantime, until next Sunday, where can we find you on social?
Agreed. We need you. I feel your holy presence in the live chat as we review these episodes together. You can find me at Steph Sabraw on Instagram and Twitter.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Amy Maestri. We will see you guys next week.
Stay holy.
Preach!
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.